Hi guys, we got a blank canvas here. Blank canvas is the fact that we have done an awful lot through these videos. This is I believe we have 17 videos of category management and retailing and everything else. And what we want to do for 4 or 5 minutes is just put the total picture together. And you don't need to write this down. All you need to do is think about it. Just walk with me, okay? So this is the grocery store of our dreams. All right. So so picture this. We drove up, we got out of our cars, and what have we seen? Absolutely. We saw no carts in the parking lot. We saw fresh outside if it's summer. Okay. Obviously don't put plants outside in the winter in New York. If it's summer or if it's a season that can handle it, you have the season already talking to you as you walk in. You have pumpkins out there, you have flowers out there, you have bedding plants out there. It's a nice, clean environment. You do not have a bagger standing there with carts texting or smoking. You don't have people smoking next to the propane cylinders. I would hope I wouldn't have to tell you that, but I have had to tell people that in the past. Okay, so you walk in the store, and what should your picture, your first picture in your store should reflect your format. So for our purposes today, we will have a traditional format, and a traditional format isn't all about price. A traditional format is about what else you offer to your customers. And so when you think about this, if you walk in and all you see are chips and soda and that kind of stuff, yes, that stuff has a lot of volume, but that is not a differentiator. Please ask yourself what makes you special. All right, that's what grocery stores are supposed to be about. What is special about me as a grocery store? So you should walk in, and if you are a traditional retailer, then you should have a focus on fresh. In fact, you should see a floral department. You should see a produce department. It should be nicely cascaded up. Go this way. Cascaded up, your specials here. Whatever your seasonal fruit or vegetables are here. If it's local, it should be saying local is coming or local is here. And then you're working your way across, and it should have the thunder and lightning going and the misting, and it should have a green wall that is the most beautiful green wall ever. That's what you should be seeing. Bag salad, anybody can do bag salad. This is a bag salad in my head. Anybody can do this. So put it at the back of the produce department. A green wall is a beautiful, beautiful differentiator for your produce department. Make sure your organics are interspersed. People are looking for organics, not just sitting on their own. They should be in there so people can make a price comparison. As you're walking your way through, you might have a deli or a bakery, depending on the alignment of your store. If it's a deli, then what is special about your deli? Is it the soups? Is it your pizza? Is it 3 types of lunch meat, an opening price point, a national brand equivalent, and a value added? Somewhere in there is Boar's Head or some kind of an upper end value added brand. Somewhere in there is a store brand, and somewhere in there is an opening price point brand, right? There are customers for all of those. Please don't ignore them. When you look at the salads, what should you see in your salads? Absolutely. You should see some macaroni salad. It's the #1 seller by far, okay? Surround it with variety, but your macaroni salad is your #1 seller. Potato salad is next, whether it's red skin on or if it's just regular potato salad, doesn't really matter. Depending where you are in the country, you might want to have more mayo, less mustard, more mustard, less mayo. That's up to you, okay? But you need to understand what is selling in your area. Always have cheese to go with any kind of lunch meat. Make sure that your soup variety isn't just chicken noodle, even though chicken noodle is going to be your best seller. Make sure your pizza is going to taste good when somebody buys it, because it sits there under those hot lamps and it just burns and dries out and it's awful. All right, you might as well go to Sbarro if you're going to do that. So make sure your pizza tastes good. You might actually want to keep it cold and then put it in the oven so it comes out nice and warm and crispy. When you go into your bakery, if you're out of what? You're out of bakery. Chocolate chip cookies. If you don't have multiple sizes of buckets of chocolate chip cookies, you're missing out on something. All right, you must have missed the entire lecture. French bread, probably your #1 profit. Garlic bread, those kind of items. They're sides, right? They're add-ons, they're tag-ons to a meal, and they're great little items. 99 cents, $1.99. They're tons of profit. It's just profit in a nice little loaf. Cakes, those kind of things. We've talked an awful lot about how you should go into the club stores to see what they're doing with cookies and Italian cookies and those kind of things. So just kind of keep on going. If you have a donut program or a bagel program, figure out how to make that case look good after noon, because it looks awful after noon because nobody's buying that stuff. So it's just sitting there. Maybe have some way of transitioning it to loose cookies or something. All right. Otherwise, it's just an awful looking until the next morning. It's just awful looking. Work your way across the seafood. Seafood is going to be the star of the show. All right, star of the future. Make sure you have wild caught. Don't run out of sockeye salmon. Come on, you're in the seafood business. And wild caught sockeye salmon is a staple. It is expensive, we understand that. But it's not Atlantic. Atlantic is mostly farmed. A lot of people who eat seafood will not eat anything farmed, all right, except for maybe trout. But for the most part, have a nice balance between farmed and wild caught, all right? And shellfish and regular red fish or oily pink fish, and then the white fish. And every once in a while get a halibut in there that's affordable. I know it's tough. Work your way across over to the meat department. Meat department should have, you should highly consider those packs that Wegmans uses, the packs that are vacuum packed. Those are beautiful little packs. They last for like 2 weeks. And they're refrigerated. They're perfect. They are consumer-friendly packs. I don't know why more people don't use those packs, but for the most part, you should. The split beef is okay. You know, beef is flat. Pork is flat. Chicken is doing okay. I mean, everything in the meat department is flat. It's just kind of there. So just make sure you. The number one focus in the meat department is make sure that you have a protein pack with at least 4 portions of a protein that can be had for about $8 to $12. And so don't pack these things out. Because what happens is the old family pack is now $20. So you can't have a $20 thing of ground beef. So make sure you have that. And make sure organic and grass-fed is living in your meat department. Work your way over into the dairy. Please call it refrigerated. It's not really a dairy anymore. The dairy is a portion of it. Yogurt is a growth category. The milk alternatives are growth categories, but it's not really, it's refrigerated, okay? So pour orange juice, okay? You might want to de-skew your orange juice a little bit. It's just not what it used to be. It's been unmasked. It's just a bunch of sugar. All right, so orange juice isn't what it used to be. Yogurt, make sure you have kid yogurt, make sure you have the skyr yogurt, Icelandic, Australian, Chobani, Greek, all of that stuff. Yogurt is just like on fire right now, okay? All the rest of the categories, they're relatively flat. Cottage cheese, nobody ever eats cottage cheese, all right? But it's nice to put it in lasagna. Work your way across. I've already mentioned floral way back at the beginning. Your floral set your image. Now quickly walk up and down your center store, because I don't want this video to be too long. Just make sure your center store actually means something to the customer, all right? Don't overcharge in your center store. You can't get fat in your center store, so to speak, in profit. It's just gonna have to live. You're just gonna have to live with the fact that you can't overcharge in center store anymore. Make it comparable or at least close in price to the price competitors, or people are just gonna keep going there, all right? That's what happens with traditional, is you don't really stand for anything. You have this great perimeter, and what people do is they actually buy from your perimeter and then they go to the center store for somebody else. They'll go to a Walmart or a Target or something like that if Target would ever get their act together in center store. But make sure your center store has differentiators. That's what you're there for. You're there for assortment. You're there to make sure that people understand that if you're a foodie or you like to cook, all of that stuff is available. Make sure your spices have caught up with the customers. Spices are on fire. All right, so make sure your spices are on fire as well. Your assortment, your variety, your organic, your price points, all of that stuff. It's kind of neat watching spices, because spices were cool, if not confusing, and then they went to the dollar store, which is canisters of junk, and then they came back, and they're really, really a hot category. And so, and then as you work your way through the store, frozen pizza and ice cream, pizza and ice cream, pizza and ice cream. Did I say pizza and ice cream? They're still the #1 sellers in the frozen category. You got all the other stuff, it's cool, all right, but everything else is kind of duplicated in the rest of the store. Pizza and ice cream aren't, or at least not very well. So make sure you're on top of pizza and ice cream. Appetizers, people's sodium content, there's a lot of stuff going on with frozen. You just have to kind of keep up with the trends. And then when you get to the front, don't have 40 registers and have 2 of them open. All right, just get rid of your registers and make it a merchandising area so people aren't standing there wondering why they came in and shopped in your store. If you're gonna have a bunch of registers, intend to use those registers. Otherwise, get rid of them. Just have 4, and then the expectation is you've got every register open. You're doing everything you can. I appreciate that. All right, so this was just a quick walkthrough, and remember, the last person who talks to your customer is that cashier. And the cashier and the bagger who you pay the least amount of money are the last ones who talk to the customer. So if you're not hiring correctly, you might want to think about that. That's your image walking out the door. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will talk to you later.